So, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Michelle Tam of Nom Nom Paleo, and as I promised yesterday, I'm going to be doing cooking videos. I'm not going to say every day because I might not do it every day, but if I think it might be something helpful, I will shoot a little cooking video to show you guys how I make stuff. So today, a lot of people had requested that I show you guys how to make Soffritto, which is an Italian Mirepoix. Oh, thank you for saying that you love my cookbook. Oh, someone's here for the very first Periscope. So basically, I'm just gonna do a quick cooking demo about how I prepare Mirepoix, I guess Soffritto, or an Italian Mirepoix, which is the basis for any delicious recipe you've ever had. And so all it is minced onions, carrots, and celery. Oh, the comments are on my face. Lame. Are you looking at it on landscape? Because if you turn your phone to be portrait, I think all the comments should be on the bottom. But then again, I'm just experimenting with this Periscope thing, and I'm experimenting with this landscape, so if it doesn't work, I am sorry. I will do this again. So Soffritto with 2 F's and 2 T's, because with 1 F and 1 T, it's the Latin American Soffritto, and that one sometimes has tomato and culantro and bell peppers, whereas this one is just onions, celery, and carrots. And in terms of how much there is, it should be about 60% onion, 20% celery, and 20% carrot. And the way I do it is it's kind of 2 of each, but you get 2 big onions, because that's going to be most of it, and then 2 carrots and 2 things of celery. So it's super, super simple. All you do is you roughly chop it, and then I throw it into my food processor. And it's all going to be minced anyway, but I try to make sure that the chunks that I put into the food processor are about the same size. If anything, can you guys see this? It works while holding vertically, but looking at her video in horizontal, yes. So I think you guys have to look at this, look at the video normally, like in portrait view, and then I'm going to film it in landscape so that the comments don't cover up whatever I'm doing, or at least that's the hope. So I'm kind of just roughly chopping these. I say roughly chopping, but I'm still making sure all the onions are about the same size. So you can kind of choose whatever size you want, but of course the bigger the chunks, the more you're going to have to pulse it. Okay, you guys can look here. The onions kind of look like this, and then I'm going to throw in. Of course, when I do that, the blade gets all messed up, but hopefully it'll still work. And then my celery, I always like to cut it in half and then take out that extra string that always comes out, but I think I did that before the video. And the carrots and celery, I think, are a little bit harder, or at least the carrots are harder than the onions, so I try to make these a little bit smaller, but then I also make them about the same size. You just don't want to have like a bunch of different shaped vegetables in there, because then there'll be a bunch of different shapes when you're done processing it. And then, you can see here, I have a compost bin because we have a composting bin outside. So now I'm just going to pulse it, and as I said, hopefully my blade is in there okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. So basically I'm not going to put it, I'm not going to just keep it down because I don't want it to be like mush. I'm going to just pulse it and let the stuff drop back down so that it'll hopefully be pretty evenly chopped. Pretty good. I mean, I'm going to do it a little bit more. That was only like maybe 10 pulses total. What is Michelle making? I am making Italian Mirepoix, or Soffritto, and I'll show you that this is basically onions, carrots, and celery, and then I'm going to saute it low and slow for about an hour. It's traditionally in olive oil, but I like to do it in ghee. And then when I'm done, I freeze it. So here I have some, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I only have 2 cubes left. So I freeze it in silicone molds, and then I throw it into all my braises. I throw it into my stir fries. Oh, hello, Owen. That's Big O. Okay, don't go crazy. All right, so here, you guys can see what it looks like. It's pretty fine, and everything's all about the same size because I made sure that I chopped the vegetables about the same size. Yes, and you cook with it all week. That is totally true. You can keep it in the fridge if you feel. I'm gonna bring you guys over to show you how I'm gonna fry it. See, look, Henry, as I said yesterday, Henry rigged this really cool little Lego tripod for me. Oh, and thank you for the hearts. If you guys like these cooking demos, just tap on the screen, because then I know that you guys like this. Someone said, oh, I missed it. I'll show you guys in a sec. I'll turn the phone around. So here's my giant cast iron skillet. It's well loved and really heavy. In fact, I think this is all I cook with these days. I used to have like fancier, like all clad stuff, but this is what I use. And so I'm gonna turn it initially. So cast iron takes a little bit of time to get warmed up. And sometimes while I'm pulsing, I will actually have this on. So I'm gonna turn down to like medium, but right now it's gonna take a little while to come up to heat. And so I have a big thing of ghee. And so you don't wanna be super skimpy with the amount of oil you're putting in. What isn't Henry capable of doing? I don't know, he's pretty capable, but he's afraid of spiders, so I have to kill all the spiders in our house. So I'm gonna do like 2 heaping spoonfuls. And you can use ghee, you can use coconut oil if you want. I think coconut oil is a little too strong tasting, and a lot of times I'm not making something that I kind of want a lot of coconut flavor. So I like ghee a lot. That's probably my favorite cooking fat. And you can make it. I do have a recipe on my blog. And you just Google like how to make ghee or DIY ghee. You can buy it. I like Pure Indian Foods. I know the Tin Star makes great ghee. I know there's another one called OM Ghee. So there are lots and lots of places to buy ghee. Oh, and then locally here, there's a whole bunch of, you know, local ghee makers in the San Francisco Bay Area. Your kitchen is gorgeous. Oh, thank you. When we bought this place, it was uninhabitable. Like literally it was uninhabitable. There was like dead rats in our garage. And so we had to gut this whole place. And we were able to kind of remake the house the way we wanted to. What is Soffritto? Soffritto is, hello Sierra age 9, it is the base for all of your favorite delicious dishes. But basically it's slow cooked onions, celery, and carrot that have been finely diced in the proportions of like 60% onion, 20% carrot, and 20% celery. And then you cook it over low heat in either olive oil or ghee until it's nice and golden. You don't want it to burn, but you want it to be nice and tender, and that actually does take about an hour. So this is not going to be an hour-long scope. I'm going to just show you. I'm going to throw this in and show you. And then maybe today, I think I'm going to probably use the Soffritto in something I make for dinner tonight, and then I can show you the finished thing if I remember. But I don't want to promise that because I may forget to do that. But the thing with these Periscope videos is they're only up for like 24 hours. But I know that if you go to catch.me, which is KATCH.me, you can still see them after the 24 hours. I think you can just look for me at Nom Nom Paleo. And then if I get my act together, I'm going to try to upload these onto YouTube on my YouTube channel, which is Michelle Tam. And then you guys can see them forever. Unless they suck, and then I'm not going to put it up. So I have these here. Oh, and so one trick I learned a long time ago, which has been very helpful, is you know how this blade is really easy to pop out? If you just stick your finger underneath and hold on to the blade, when you're pouring stuff out, the blade does not come out. So my cast iron skillet is nice and hot. So I'm going to put in all these vegetables. And you also want to be careful not to puree the vegetables too much, or else they will liquefy. And then it'll be the vegetables are gonna steam more so than saute, because you want it to kind of simmer in the oil as opposed to steaming in the oil. And dude, these onions are gonna make me cry. And that's why I like to make a big batch of Mirepoix once, or Soffritto once, so I don't have to deal with the tears. All right. So I did 2 big onions, 2 carrots, two stalks of celery, and I'm gonna keep it on medium. And then I'm gonna mix it around so that it gets coated in the melted ghee. And then I just kind of let it sit. And so, as I said before, because this is cast iron, I have it on like medium, but I may have to turn down the temperature once this, gets heated up, because cast iron retains heat really, really well, and once it gets too hot, then it's hard to back down. So I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna be stirring it every few minutes. How do you store your ghee? I just leave it on the counter. Like, I use it so much that I just have them on the counter. The unopened ones I also have in my pantry. You can keep them in the fridge if your house is too hot, but I think like most Indian households just keep it on the counter. And it looks silly, but they work really well. I missed the comment before that, so I'm not sure what looks silly. Can you show us how to make mayo? Sure, I can show you guys how to make mayo. But I do buy mayo a lot these days, because that Primal Kitchen mayo is pretty good. I keep ghee on the counter as well. See, I think a lot of people keep ghee on the counter, especially if you use it as quickly as I do. Like, one of these giant things maybe lasts me 3 weeks. Oh, goggles for cutting onions. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I already wear goggles when I'm, at nighttime, so I think if I wore them during the day, it wouldn't make much of a difference. So anyway, I can hear this bubbling, but you just kind of let this go for about an hour. Like, you can go do something fun, and then come back and stir it. I add a little bit of salt, just because I think everything always needs a tiny bit of salt, but you don't want to go crazy with the amount of salt, because you don't know what you're going to end up putting this in. Oh, and someone says, if you freeze an onion for 15 minutes before cutting it, it shouldn't make you cry. That is true, but I never kind of have the foresight to do that. All right, so I think that's it. I'm going to let this go. It should be simmering, and that's about it. If you guys have any questions for me that I didn't see or that I didn't answer, you can totally just tweet me at @nomnompaleo, or on Instagram if you put a comment under any of my pictures. I always see those. And that's about it. I hope you guys have a good Friday. And let me see if there are any last questions what is your brand of your food processor? I have an old Cuisinart, and I just looked on, the places I look to for appliance reviews are Cooks Illustrated has really great reviews, except it's hidden behind a paywall. But if you go to a site called consumersearch.com, it's like this really awesome aggregate site that takes all the reviews from everywhere, including Cooks Illustrated. So consumersearch.com will totally hook you up with the best reviews. And then I always take whatever they review, and then I compare it to what Amazon says, because Amazon is the most recent, because someone will say, oh my gosh, I bought this and it totally stank, and it'll be a review from 2 days ago, and if you see that a bunch of recent ones all say they stink, then I normally do that. Someone said something about my iPhone. I don't know what that question was. But anyway, I can hear this. So this is bubbling kind of pretty rapidly now, so I'm going to turn it down to medium-low. And then I just need to take note that it's almost 4 p.m. here, and so it should be done around 5. Just want to know that you have to sign up to Catch if you want to. Yep, so I have signed up for Catch, so all of mine are saved. I don't know if as a viewer you have to as well, but I will. But as I said earlier, I'm probably going to put these up on YouTube. I don't know if the quality is that great, but if you guys don't care, I'm happy to put these up on my YouTube channel. And I am under Michelle Tam on YouTube. Instant pot rice. I don't make instant pot rice. When I do eat rice, and I do eat white rice once in a while, and my younger son definitely loves white rice, I make it just on the stove. Thank you for liking my kitchen. Oh yeah, someone says never knew you were on YouTube. I'm not really on YouTube. That's why I don't talk about it. I have some videos on YouTube, and then I've had other times when I've been shot for videos for other things, like Whole Foods did a series with me for Thanksgiving. And then I'm on a Munchies video. But otherwise, I haven't shot too many just because they're too much work. But these are easy. I'm happy to do Periscope and then stick the Periscope on YouTube if you guys are cool with it. Anyway, that is it. Oh my gosh. All right. So say goodbye. Bye. Bye. Oh my God.